Hello viewers and welcome back to Let's Play Reunion. We're continuing from where we left off, with one minor difference. I have, as mentioned in a previous video, I mentioned there was a couple of different versions of the soundtrack depending if you were using Gravis Ultrasound or a Sound Blaster. I've changed it to Sound Blaster mode just so you can hear what the soundtrack sounds like with this. So this is the first main theme in Sound Blaster ad-lib mode. Anyway, so we're going to load the game. We're back where we were, so we do actually have a couple of things to research. Mr. Klaatu needs to go to university again and study some artificial intelligence, which is fine. We can also go to Space Local. There's a few new characters in here now. We have a Morgrul, we have an Aaron, and the other guys. So, Mr. Bartender, what is that Morgrul doing in the bar? Ask someone else. Okay. Do you know anything about the Morgrul in Space Local? I can tell you something interesting for 500 credits. Alright. He accepts any work and would do anything for money. Ah, he's a pirate leader. I heard you accept dirty jobs for good money. I only accept jobs if you give me detailed information. We don't really have anything much for him right now. We also have an Aaron. Greetings, Aaron. What are you doing in this bar? I'm just having a drink, that's all. Notice he looks completely different here than he does there. There's a reason for that. Aarons are actually shapeshifters, and we'll come to that again shortly. We also still have the spy here, little furry dude. We actually haven't met his species yet. However, there seems to be several of them in the bar, so I don't know. Right, we need our developer to come back from university. So in the meantime, yeah, just a few things I wanted to just go into in a bit more detail, just in regards to the game's overall mechanics, as we did kind of rush through the first bit quite quickly due to the impending Morgrul invasion, which we have now dealt with. So, if we go to the planet main here, this is our planet's main screen. This is where we kind of build our colony, and you can click on all the individual buildings. It will show you how many workers they've got, how much energy they're using or producing in the case of these ones, all that kind of thing. Other things like the mines you can obviously go into, and you can assign more miner droids up to a maximum of 9 per planet, and that will increase the extraction rate. So there are a total of 6 different things that you can mine or extract from planets. 4 of them are found on the home planet of New Earth, and the other 2 are found in other planets throughout the galaxy. The other thing that the colonies do get you is tax. So if you have a good colony, you can increase the taxes. There are rebellious forces on Antares 2 Moon 1. That is because I put the taxes up to oppressive on that colony. They're going to die anyway. Well, yeah, these people really hate it. So I'm gonna set their taxes to 0 because they're gonna die anyway. So colony has been destroyed. Well, there's no real disadvantage to that because they were going to die anyway. That entire system is going to go supernova shortly, so there's really no reason to keep anything out here. Did we bring our satellite carrier back from here? No, we did not. We better move it back. Bring the satellite carrier back to New Earth. Okay. Where are we with things then? So what we're going to basically do is we're going to expand the colonies a bit. I'm probably going to build more derricks here. I'm also going to build more buildings, make sure we're getting good tax income, and that will pretty much see us through to the end of the game. The satellites have arrived back at New Earth as well. That is good. Another thing that we can do, we can probably we could build some of those other satellites. In fact, we've not researched them yet, have we? We need to research the solar plant which will enable us to build solar satellites. Now, these things, I don't know how expensive they are. I've never really used them before. They don't seem super expensive. They're quite high in energy. We do need some radium. If we can build these at our colonies though, I mean, if we look at the description of these, it gathers solar power and transforms pure energy to the main colony building. I think these pretty much nullify the need for any nuclear power generators or wind plants. I want to actually do that as a test and see. We are also running out of space on Phoenix 2. We need more living space here. The people are not happy as they have nowhere to live. We're going to build some more living space for them. We also need more living space on Penelope, so I'm going to gradually get around to all this and build up these colonies to be a bit better. Otherwise we're going to be getting these commands barked at us for the rest of the game. We need more living space, we need more hospitals. This is probably going to run us out of power, isn't it? Yeah, we're going to build another power plant up here. Yeah, there we go. Right, what I was going to do was take, in fact, we can probably now build more trade ships, just to save us a bit of time here. We can build 20 trade ships. Apparently our people are starving in Penelope as well, so we will, we'll deal with that just now. Right, we are going to build we're going to build food resources. Now there's two food producing buildings. There's the farm, which costs 6,000, and there is the food resources, which costs 15,000. Food resources is much better than the farm in my experience, and there's pretty much no point in ever building farms. So we're just going to build a food resources there. It's quite an awkward layout, this planet, although there is quite a good bit of space out at the sides here. We could pretty much fill this with like buildings and get humongous tax income from this planet, potentially. Of course, right now, people hate us. We have successfully decoded a message which informs us of some ore being transferred to Lyra System Planet 3. Cargo will arrive in more than a month's time. That could be a job for Pirate Leader. I have a good job for you. What is it? I received some information about cargo being carried to Lyra System Planet 3. I thought you might accept the job. What's the payment? We could give him 50,000 credits, and he accepts. So he's gonna go and intercept this cargo that's being transferred over there, and hopefully bring it back to us. Hopefully it will be something good. Let me see then. So we were going to build one of these. We're not going to build it with that little money though. We still need radium. That was kind of what we were actually going to do before I once again got completely distracted by other things. Right, transfer. Oops, I forgot to actually add the other ships into the fleet as well. Yes, because we were building some more ships so that we don't have to do all this back and forth journey type thing. So we have more trade ships. We're going to. Oh, our pirate leader has come back. We get 31,000 to toxin, 30,000 energon, 20,000 radium, 10,000 texon. That is brilliant. That is really good. Okay, with that, that's probably enough for us to build a solar plant, I think.
Okay. Bye.
Well, we can build 5 of them. That means we can. Oh, the supernova has exploded in the 4th solar system. Fortunately, our colony has already rebelled and completely fell apart out there anyway, so the people there were spared the misfortune of watching their own star go supernova, because they all killed each other beforehand anyway. Small mercies. Right, We are going to get the satellite carrier group, which should be at New Earth orbit. We're going to drop it down here, and we can now add solar satellites. Now, I'm going to do a test of this by going to Penelope. I want to see if we add a solar satellite here, does that mean we have... What does that actually mean? Let's do a little test here. What happens if I just get rid of all of our power plants? Everything still works. So yeah, it looks like the solar satellites completely nullify the use for any power plants on the surface, which is great. That means we can free up a lot of space. So with that, this is an enhanced Earth-like colony at the moment. What I'm going to do, I'm going to build some nice things here for them. So I'm going to build a leisure centre. I'm going to build a stadium. I'm going to build them a park. We'll just shove all this on the inside here. I'm also going to build them a hospital. What does a university do? I don't really know what this does in terms of the actual colony. We can build maybe a storage bay somewhere. This would increase the amount of ore and stuff we can store on the planet. And we're also going to probably just start up at the top corner and just build buildings. What was that message? Sanitary conditions, we need a hospital in Mirak 3. We'll come back to that. Right now I'm going to build buildings. I'm going to pretty much just cover this entire screen at them. So what buildings do is they allow your population to continue growing, which results in increased tax income. Which is good, because income is good. We all always like income. Currently we have run out of power, so maybe the solar power plant in orbit doesn't quite cover everything. Page 14 is armour. I think it's already asked us that one. Yes, we are out of power. So it would seem that the satellites don't completely nullify the need for nuclear generators. Which is unfortunate. I was hoping that they would, but never mind.
Planet information.
Okay, so we're just gonna let the population here. They seem to be quite happy at the moment, so we can increase the taxes. It's very difficult. Increasing the taxes does result in the growth slowing down a little bit, but it also increases the amount of revenue that you get from the population of the planet. So we want to do that. If we check here as well, we should have quite a good supply of radium techs on there. We can take our transfer ship, which is now going to... We're going to add the rest of the trade ships into this group, and that will give us quite a good carrying capacity. So we should now be able to go to, let's say, Penelope, land here, and we can take much bigger piles of radium and techs on back to New Earth. Still needs multiple trips, but that's just purely because of how much is actually sitting there at the moment. There's quite a big pile of resources sitting at this planet, so we can take
Control panel.
lots and lots of stuff back with us.
Control. Zoom out. Planet. Move. Shift. Message.
And just dump it all here.
Control panel. Control. Zoom out. Planet. Move. Shift. Message. Transfer. Control panel.
So we could, if we wanted to, we could continue setting up more and more colonies. There's very little need to do that after a certain point. I mean, we can pretty much get everything that we need from the colonies that we have at this point. We just need to, if we give it some time just for our resources to build up, we will be looking pretty good. So lots and lots of radium and tech on now. So we'll take this all back to New Earth. Do we have anything else to research at the moment? Doesn't particularly look like it. Okay. Right, what do we want to do next?
Talk.
Right.
Talk.
These guys don't really have any information yet.
Talk.
Nobody really has anything new to tell me. Well, this guy has heard that the Errands are dangerous and they are allies with the Morgruls. Well, I'm going to take that with a pinch of salt. I think the Errands seem to have been pretty useful to us so far. Okay, does he have any information? Yes, give me some of that stuff. No, no information. Okay. Well, what kind of stage are we at then? So we have researched a lot of stuff here. We probably should look at our colonies. So we also have the colony. Oops, what was that? Due to sanitary conditions, we need a hospital in Phoenix too. Okay, I suppose we can give them a hospital. Maybe. We need a builder plan as well. Let's just build this stuff up in the corner here. No, we are also out of power. In fact, we should have. Do we have any more solar stuff? No, not in this group. Right, never mind that. Okay, we're just going to make sure that this colony is everything that it sort of needs for just now. So it's going to need a hospital. Build that up here. We can build a radar as well. Doesn't really serve any particular purpose, but it lets us see more of the map here. Just get a glance at what's going on. Not really an essential thing, but we need food resources. So if we build a couple of these, if we build another nuclear generator. There are actually quite a lot of resources at this planet, but I'm probably not going to bother mining it particularly because we can get all the resources we really need in other systems in the first solar system, and there is an interesting bug in the game, it would seem, which means if you seem to only be able to mine resources from one solar system at a time. So if we have mining colonies in the first solar system, the Amnesty system, they will stop mining resources as soon as we look at a planet in another system. So it's really more beneficial to keep all of your resource extraction colonies in one star system for that reason, just to make sure that they are always mining when they're supposed to be. We can, however, build some buildings here and turn it into a sort of tax place. We'll give them a park. No, apparently you need a vehicle plan for just about freaking everything.
Build.
Okay, well, if we're going to build a vehicle plant, I'll just build them a stadium and give them that. That should hopefully keep them happy for a while, then we can increase the taxes to difficult. And they should be okay with that. What about Apollo, our other colony here? How are people here? We have a high-tech economy. Everything seems fairly alright here, although we do seem to be lacking things like a hospital as well. So we'll give them a hospital here. Just build it up at the corner. But also we'll build them a stadium, and we'll pop down some more buildings as well. And I will pop down some more power. We can use wind traps here, of course, so we can just build a few more of these just to make sure we don't run out of power. What was that message?
Messages.
People are starving on Apollo, apparently. That's not so good. We better build them some food resources.
Build.
That should keep them covered. Okay, now we can look at planet forces for every planet. Every planet has its own forces. We will never be using any of those for the simple reason that enemies never attack any of your colonies. They will only ever attack your main base on New Earth. Now, at the moment, nobody will be attacking us anyway, until I trigger the next part of the game, essentially. But we can probably move our army back to New Earth just now. As long as we've got our army fleet in orbit around New Earth, then they will be defending. They'll be defending the planet. But yeah, you never actually need to set up fleets on another planet, as nothing else will ever be attacked. And it's a little bit like, you know, it's almost like they were kind of wanting to at one point put that into the game, have your colonies be attackable or defendable, but it's just something that never really made it into the final game. There's traces of it in there, but yeah, it's possible that it's something that was dropped at some point during development, and as a result, all the attacks seem to be fairly scripted in this game, in a lot of senses. As much as it's kind of in the style of a space strategy game, this game is as much a sort of adventure game as anything else. As you're kind of working your way through a storyline, and you have to do things in a pretty specific order to get through it. And certainly all the enemies that attack you do so in a very scripted fashion as well. So once you've played the game a few times, you gradually kind of learn the pattern that events happen in, and you can through trial and error kind of work a solution to get around them. But yeah, the same applies for the enemies. You know, if you can attack an enemy's colonies to take them over, but it doesn't really impact them in any great way. If you attack their main base, it will automatically wipe out all of their colonies, just in the same way that if an enemy attacks you at your New Earth colony and defeats you, it's game over regardless of how many other colonies you have. So yeah, the main colonies are kind of everything. Okay, what we're going to want to do then is allow our resources to continue building up. We're going to transfer. We're going to go to our transfer ship and we're going to transfer as many of our resources as we can back to New Earth. So that will be mainly things like energon, radium, the stuff that we seem to be running out of a lot or not getting on New Earth to begin with. So just put all this stuff down here. And we are doing quite good in terms of just the amount of resources we've got there. I'll go to, in fact, I'll go to Penelope as well and just pick up what's sitting there. Not sure if there will be very much since we were here quite recently, but yeah, enough just to take back, that's fine. So we'll take all this stuff back to New Earth. And I'm just going to drop all of it off here. Now with that means we're going to be in a position where we can afford to buy some more stuff. So we're going to want to buy some destroyers. You can only build one of these at a time, but that's fine. We're going to want a bunch of twin laser guns. We're going to want missiles. Just get that many just now and then we'll let our money build back up. And then, our radio has finally decoded the transmission. You find out that some prototype military equipment is being carried to Orion's second planet. Is that something that Mr. Pirate Leader will be able to help with? I have a good job for you. There's some military equipment being carried to the Orion's system, second planet. If you retrieve it for me, you'll be richly rewarded. Okay, he's going to want a good amount of money for this. 100,000 credits. We'll see what comes back from this. In the meantime, we will make sure we are continuing to produce more destroyers. We're also going to want lots of battle tanks if possible as well. And we get 2 aircraft. We're actually not in a position where we can use aircraft yet. But yeah, we're going to want tons and tons of battle tanks. And some ores are going to... So once again, we'll see if this guy could take the ores. We'll give him 50,000 for that, and he'll come back with some more ore. So, these messages seem to be coming from the other systems, System 5 and System 6, which we've not explored yet. And there's a good reason that we haven't actually ventured in there yet. Our pirate seems to be able to go back and forth in there without any trouble. But if we go in there, it will trigger the next part of the storyline, which we don't want to do until we are ready for it. This is the kind of one point in the game where you do get a bit of a chance to actually build up your economy, build up your forces before actually moving on to the next part. So you can basically be ready for the rest of the game before moving on to it, which is very nice. So we've built up our colonies a bit more here. We've got a pretty steady income now. We're building up money quite quickly. That's all going quite well. So with that, I mean, I think we'll call this the end of this video for just now. In the next part, we'll continue building up a bit of a fleet and prepare to move on to the next part of the game and explore those 2 other solar systems. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching this so far. I hope you are enjoying this. If you have enjoyed it, give us a like, leave us some feedback in the comments, and subscribe if you want to see more of this kind of stuff. Again, if you've got any questions about the game, anything you want to clarify, leave a comment and I will certainly reply to that as well. Thank you once again. I hope to catch you for the next part. In the meantime, see you later.